Doles.
Well, we're back.
We're back in the stew.
I have a tan.
You are extremely tan. It looks great.
I had the best trip of my life.
What happened? Tell me everything.
Fire Island was truly Helen. You were right. It was corrective.
You needed to go.
Yeah, it felt. I'm genuinely when I say it did feel like catharsis.
What about it felt so great?
Like, I don't know. I felt like camaraderie with gays.
Mm-hmm.
Made new friends. Befriended a whole other house of sober queens. We lived, laughed, loved, and it was just fun. There's no cars.
I love a no car.
You're gonna thrive there.
We'll see about that.
I think you'll like it.
But I like the name Fire Island Pines. It's evocative.
It's a little spooky.
I like a deer on the beach was radical.
Girl, there are deer just like at your door.
I love that. But does that mean that there's like deer ticks everywhere?
Yeah, you have to be careful.
Were you spraying down?
Oh yeah.
Did you get any
Simon
tick
got
sightings?
stung by a wasp on his, and he just today pulled out the stinger.
No.
He had like an allergic reaction to it. It was horrible.
A wasp sting is so painful.
And you could hear it. It went,
ow.
It was hard.
Oh my God.
It's nature. Like, I think you'll I know you, P-Town was like a lot. No, but I know P-Town was like, you were like, whoa, I'm invisible.
P-Town is like a little too like precious gingerbread house vibe for me. That's not, just I like a wooden house.
You're gonna like it.
I like wooden houses,
and there were a lot of women
pine
there.
trees, and I like a New York lesbian.
Yeah, there's a lot of those. There are a lot of straight girls just there with their gays.
Mm-hmm.
We just had fun. We went to an underwear party.
How was that? When you go to an underwear party, do you go to the party in your underwear, or you go clothes and then you strip down?
You strip down when you get in, and they give you a backpack to put all your shit in.
So it's just a lot of gays in undies with backpacks?
No, you don't take they like store it somewhere.
They coat check it.
But there's like an area where all the gays are getting undressed. And that was like, for me, and I think probably most gays,
you had some confronting to do?
Yeah, I confronted a lot of shit that night. But it was really fun.
I went to a sample sale in Soho with Michelle Collins, and it was for Christopher Esber, who makes that red top that I've worn a lot on tour. And I've never been to a sample sale before. And I didn't realize that you grab, and then a fitting room is just a fitting area behind a curtain where all the women stand around with racks. It's like backstage at the fashion show vibes. And you get naked in your thong and try shit on in front of everyone. And I was like, we are all girls here. Like, I was like, you go off, sisters. It really felt powerful. And normally I hate a communal dress. Like, you know what I hate is Aritzia dressing rooms, because they don't have mirrors in the changing area.
What dressing room?
Aritzia.
Oh.
Aritzia. It's a store. It's like at the Grove and everywhere. The girlies know. They don't have mirrors in the dressing room. So you're supposed to get into something, you have no idea how it looks, and then go out of the dressing room to like look in the mirror. But I need to do like weird things when I look in the mirror. Also, like, you just never know how something's going to look, and then you're out there.
I need to make out with my reflection.
If you're going to be like a no mirror in the dressing room, I think you just need to go full sample sale where you're like, behind the curtain, everyone is nude. Tits are out.
You went to an underwear party.
I did. That's the girl version of an underwear party.
But it was really fun. And it was just great. I went to a lot of 12-step meetings.
Nice.
Really good program out there.
Did
take water taxis to get to Cherry Grove. We went to the
water taxis?
Yeah.
Okay, this is
You're gonna like
fun.
it.
I like this.
Cherry Grove is also really cool. It's a little more like New Englandy, but it's really sweet, and it's so tiny, and they have like a downtown, but it's like a little alleyway.
Cute.
And we saw the best drag show I've ever seen in my whole life on Sunday night. Assassins, New York. They're a team of 4 queens. They were comedy, talent, charisma. Like they had it all, and they each had something different. They each did an act. One of them was the world's preeminent Gaga impersonator, Nick Gaga.
Wow.
So hot. There was one queen named Kimmy Moore who's also so hot. All of them were hot, and they just came around constantly, just putting their hand out. And you just handed them. They probably made, I don't even know how many thousands they made that night.
Love.
And they would take the money and then just throw it. And sometimes they would refuse money from certain people. And they loved our tables, I think, because we were right in the front row and we weren't wasted. So I think they knew we were like engaged. But and there was one guy that one of the queens did a somersault off the stage. And the guy that was closest to the stage was staring at his phone texting. And she saw him, and so she did it again, and he again didn't see. So she, for the rest of the night, that was her enemy, and she was picking on him so much, and it was so funny. She was literally torturing him, and anytime he tried to give her money, she would go like this.
That is my favorite thing, when a performer finds an enemy and then will not let it go with them the entire night.
No, Lara, it
does things to me. Even
Boudoir Lafleur,
even just the energy of hearing this story and knowing that you got to experience, like, energetically, I'm soothed by that.
She was kind of the like main. Her name is Boudoir Lafleur, and her vibe was kind of like hair metal, like kind of rocker, and she just fucked with this guy all night. And he looked like he was in tears. In his house, they were all like this. They were all like, we don't want to be seen with this man.
I love it.
And at the end, they ran out. It was their final show of the season. So at the end, they ran out onto the pier during one of the songs and got on the end of the pier and was just like, so we all had to watch from a distance. It was next level. I've never seen anything like it. If you have a chance to see them in New York, you have to go. Assassins. They are next level drag queens.
Okay, I saw some next level drag queens too.
Really?
Remember I was talking about that band Bertha that does the Grateful Dead cover. It's a great Grateful Dead cover band of all drag.
Did they kill?
Rocked. Like, my expectations were like level, and they got the whole place. I mean, everyone was dancing anyways, but they rocked the fuck out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were they rocking? Like,
They were rocking because they're all from Nashville. Right, so they bring a sense of rock and roll to the mix.
Like Southern rock.
And they keep it up tempo, which any Deadheads know that ain't what you're getting with Dead and Company.
And they're all in full drag?
They're all in full drag. There's 2 female singers, and then everyone else, I think, is male.
Are they like drag kings?
No, they're like kind of like one was kind of drag king, and then one was very bouffant wig, like Dolly Parton voice. Drag. Yeah, with beautiful voices, great like musical skill. Like, it was you've got to go see Bertha if they come to I think they're on tour right now.
Where was it in the city?
It was at the Brooklyn Bowl.
Oh, cool. That's a good venue.
Yeah, it was great.
But yeah, I love it. I'm definitely gonna go back next year. I was like emotional leaving.
That's so fun.
Like I got teary-eyed one night. It was just really nice.
Are there good restaurants there?
No, I mean,
it's not like a restaurant type of place.
No, I mean, Cherry Grove has a few places.
Is it like you go?
There's a pantry, which is I'm wearing the shirt. And you just go multiple times a day, and you just get groceries and things for dinner. We had someone in our house. Our friend Brandon made like dinner every night.
Is it like buy groceries, cook every night, stock up, and like, is there a Round Swamp Farm or whatever?
No,
type of
it's
place?
Just called the pantry.
And do they have like chicken salad there? What?
Yeah, they have really good deli. Okay. They have good iced coffee.
Sandwiches.
They have like, it's all these, and all the people that work at the pantry are like these like young girls that are like New York like Long Island girls.
Cute.
Who come out on the ferry. It was magical. And, you know, there was one day where I had to like confront my FOMO of like my partying FOMO, where there was like a literal like orgy happening in a house nearby where we were. And all these people were on their way to it. And you could just hear the music. And it was like, not that I even want to be at like a broad daylight orgy. Like
broad daylight?
Oh, yeah. Girl.
Not a nighttime?
But it was But just knowing that everyone, like, people are there for the weekend and they're just getting fucked up and having fun and like that.
But an orgy, like also having sex.
Yeah.
But you could go get fucked if you wanted.
Well, no, it was just like I had a moment where I was like, damn, I can't party anymore.
Damn, I wish I was on GHB getting fucking topped at this orgy.
Yeah. But then it lasted very fleeting. And then I was like, I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah. And also like, maybe someday you'll walk into an orgy GHB free and just have the time of your goddamn life.
I did have fun. It was a load.
What's the load temper count? What was your
7.
goal? It was 10?
7.
There's still time. You're really doing great.
You're
doing amazing at load temper.
It was a good run.
Mine is still absolutely at a zerotic state. That's totally fine.
Did you have any kind of like
no, absolutely not. 100%
all right.
nil.
You heard it here.
I mean, I like made eye contact with people in a cute way, but nothing. Did you go like this? Like on the subway, being like,
oh, Subway's all about eye fucking.
Yeah.
Subway's basically an orgy of eyes.
It's an orgy of germs for sure. And scents.
But New York felt good. Like it felt, there's so many like, I don't know. I think it felt fresh there.
It felt good there.
It did.
It's definitely shocking and depressing to go on the subway, especially around rush hour times, and see a line of people, like every single person on the platform just standing and looking at their phones is like, it did something to my soul. Like a little part of me died. That's just like crazy to me.
Yeah, rush hour.
There was one where I was like, there's gotta be just one person that's like maybe staring at the wall or like not looking at their phone, and every single person was looking at their phone. It was really weird. It felt like Black Mirror.
The rush hour subway journey is hard.
Like a rush hour leaving work.
That's
because I think most people in general like hate their jobs, and you can really feel the like stench of their jobs coming off of them.
My favorite was one time it was so crowded. Also being like feeling like you're gonna get pushed off the subway because it's so overcrowded on the platform. That was always scary. And I remember one time the train was so crowded and the doors closed right in front of me, and I just saw a woman's hand press against like this, and I was literally like, that's iconic, but also so creepy. She went,
the
drama.
There's a good TikToker who does like subway videos where he just stands outside of a train when people are on it, and he like, someone's by the window and he like knocks and they look and he's like,
yeah, I mean, and
but I love being on this. I love being on the move, going up the stairs, down the stairs, scan the phone.
I like walking.
I love walking. I was logging steps.
You feel walking is like socially acceptable there?
Yeah.
Here, and it's necessary. Here, it's like, if you're walking,
there's a big problem. You have things to examine and look at, and like there's a reckoning of sorts.
But it was also the best part about Fire Island. One of the best parts is when the ferry comes in, people wave.
Cute.
And then when we were leaving, all of our new friends and our old friends came and gathered and like waved us off because we left first.
Nice.
And it was sad. But I was in this moment, I was like, I love my community. There's no problems in our community. There's no divisions. We are all one.
That's a great feeling to have leaving vacation.
And people just smile at you, and they don't want anything from you, or they're not like being weird, or everyone's just friendly because they're happy. And like, and this is okay, but on the mainland, they'd see you and be like, I fucking hate you. Please die. But on Fire Island, they're like,
where in the mainland?
No, I'm saying that
in New York,
the feelings of like, I didn't feel that like toxic gay on gay behavior. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The scarcity mentality, that the velvet rage.
On
the island, it felt kind of pure.
I love that.
But I give it a good grade.
Yeah, I give New York a good grade this time around.
But But it's good to be back. It is nice that LA is finally cooling off.
It's cool. It's nice when it is just everything's burning here and there's like a scent of fire in the air.
I did smell it. You were right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I'm in Southwest yesterday. This woman, I was one of the first people on.
On Southwest. A brag.
I was in Group A.
Not a Southwest brag.
I was in
Girl,
Group A.
If you're
Let me brag.
Southwest,
let me brag.
You need to zip it because there is no brag.
It. So I beeline to the middle of the plane because there's a great seat where there's no seat in front of you at all, and it's just like you sit and it's by the window and you can stretch out. And so I sat there and there was no one next to me, and then there was this older woman, probably in her 60s, that sat on the aisle, and she was kind of like chic bohemian. And at one point, the flight attendant was like, "We've got a birthday queen on the plane. So at one point, I'm going to have to ask everyone to sing happy birthday and applaud her when she comes down the aisle." And the woman, I just heard her go, "That was weird." And then
I'm in hell with that. Like, I can't.
The Southwest
is already.
They love being comedians, but
it's already a huge loss if you're finding yourself, much like walking in LA, when you find yourself on a Southwest flight. Things aren't great.
No.
And then
but they're
to
cheap.
Add insult to injury, you're going to have to like feign excitement at a stranger's birthday.
So in that moment, I was like, okay, I like this queen. She's funny.
Did you reach across and hold her hand?
Well, yeah. So I was like, okay, solidarity. But then I noticed she was very like loudly narrating things that were happening.
Ooh.
And at one point she turned around and she goes to the woman behind her. She goes, "I'm going to put my seat back. I'm just letting you know. Is that all right with you?" And the woman was like, "Yeah, of course." And she goes, "I'm just letting you know." And I was like, okay, this woman.
Yeah.
And then
she's lost the plot.
The flight attendant came at one point and she goes, "Can I have that too, please?" Like she was just very.
Oh my God.
So then midway through the flight, it was also really hot in the sky. Like it was bright. And so
people are loving these days to make it hot in the airplane when you get to cruising altitude. But also, it never used to be like this.
So I was like trying to keep I was trying to keep things cool. So I didn't want like the light bleeding it. You know what I mean? So, and I was reading. So I kind of put the window down because most people's windows were down because it was broad daylight. And she looks and she goes, and I went and she goes, "Just a little natural light would just be so nice. Do you know what I mean? Just a little bit of natural light." And she goes, "But you don't have to, you can do whatever you want with the window. I'm just saying." And she kept.
This woman's a terrorist.
And then, no, and before.
This is modern day terrorism.
And before we even took off, she was like, "Could you please keep the window open a little?" And so I was like,
to
okay.
you?
Yeah. So I was like, okay. And then when
is she in an aisle seat?
Yeah. So then I said.
You don't get a fucking say.
So after she said that just a little natural light, I turned to her and I go, and she goes, "You don't have to though. That's okay." And I go, "You could have gotten yourself a window seat. You can pick your own seat." And she goes, "Thanks for telling me." And I was about to be like,
Bro.
This plane, if this door blows off, I hope you go first. That was terrorista. Right?
She deserves to be apprehended for that kind of behavior.
I was literally like, I'm going to call that, what are they called? I'm
going to call an air marshal. Say, are there any air marshals on the flight? This woman is under arrest. I would place her under citizen's arrest.
I love that. Just a little natural light.
Get the fuck out of here, bitch.
You came on like right after I did. You had ample time to find yourself a window seat, but no, you had to yell at me about it.
The Wild West.
Yeah.
Where everyone thinks like we're all community. We're all like on a private jet just weighing in on what windows happen. No. When you're on an airplane.
I picked my seat.
You sit in your fucking seat and shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. I am in control of this window.
I have to say,
I said, I am in control.
Whoever gets the window, they control. They're the captain now.
And
that's the way it goes.
I had it like halfway down. So I was her natural light, was giving it to her. I didn't want the natural light, but she wanted the natural light. So I was like, all right, I'll give this bitch her natural light.
You should never have given. If you give a mouse a cookie.
But I love that. Just a little. He's so nice. We're on Southwest.
It's not getting any better,
We're flying over Arizona right now. Do you want, okay.
It's never going to get as good as you want it to get.
Literally, you want like the harsh light of like Santa Fe in your fucking eyes? Go ahead. But That means finding your own window seat. This is Southwest. It's a free-for-all. This is a literal, we're on a Greyhound bus with wings. We might as well just be our own flight.
Peasant air.
We might as well just be flying it ourselves. This is how, like, this is what it is. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
so,
exactly.
Like, let's not talk about natural light when we're on fucking Southwest. You freak of nature.
I have a grievance to air.
What?
Air travel related.
Okay.
I flew American as I want to do. I was flying with Tony, my service animal. I finally figured out how to use miles to upgrade because I said, you know what? I just need to like lie flat for once in my fucking life. I was on pins and needles up until like the final hour of like stepping onto the plane, and they gave me the upgrade, and I was like,
you got a pod
as well. Yeah, it was like business, so it's two next to each other, but that's fine. I'll take what I can get. I just needed to like lie flat with my pooch and like spread on me. And at first they were like, okay, you got the upgrade, but there's no footrest in the seat. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, what are you telling me right now? Like, what? Like, what? And they were like, there's no. And I was like, okay, like, I hate this, but I'll take it. They were like, we can. What
do you mean?
They go, we can leave you in coach. And I was like, I know what
you.
I'll fucking take it, but I'm not happy about this. And then I sit there and I'm like, this is gonna be hell. I need like a little footrest. Like this, where the footrest was just like, I was like, this is what our nation has come to. It was just ripped out. No one thought like maybe we'll put it back.
Can you
it
put
was
like
just
a bag
ripped
down?
out with like duct tape. Yeah, you can put a bag down, but like, you know, you just want to sit with your fucking feet
Yeah, your back
up.
is going to be out of whack.
Anyways, so then someone missed the flight in another seat. So they made it right, and they were like, you can go to this seat.
Did that have a footrest?
Yes, it had all the amenities, but the TV
I bet you went like this.
I did. I was like, finally some peace. But then the TV was having issues where every 10 minutes it would glitch, and I would have to rewind what I was watching and then push play again to like unglitch it. So it was just like one thing after another. But this woman right behind me had a baby that was like kind of crying, but then was quiet. And I was like, okay, like this baby's figured it out. It's fine. I wish. I wish she had, instead of doing what she did. This woman spent almost the entire flight cradling this baby and going as loudly as possible, shh. Imagine hearing that for 45 minutes to an hour. I was like, doing this, I would rather have a baby scream in my ear than hear you doing this. Like, it was somehow worse.
She turned herself into a sound machine.
How? And mothers, I think, need to hear this. You need to really watch it. When your quieting behavior is worse than a baby crying, you've broken the law.
Oh, yeah. The family, like, the family
the baby wouldn't even cry, and she'd go shh. I was like, it worked.
The hetero family urge to make everyone's flight about their family is very intense, and I understand. I can't imagine what it's like to travel with children. I give you lots of credit where credit is due, but also don't fly on a flight with people.
Don't put it on me.
Don't rope me into your weird, like, dysfunctional child's.
Don't harsh my vibe. I just paid miles to sit where I'm sitting, plus a fee.
I saw a family, a mother and a father sitting. We were in the middle of their like gravitational pull. So I'm being tossed. One kid right there, one kid up there. The mom at one point had the two daughters in the aisle and was giving them like a talk about explaining a lesson in life to them in the middle of the aisle. And there was a guy waiting there for 30 seconds and he kept trying. She wasn't either listening or just opting not to. And I went, there's a man right there. There's a man right there. I said it because I was in the aisle. And she went, oh, get out of the fucking aisle. What are you doing?
This isn't the park.
This isn't fucking like the Please Touch Museum, and I don't need to be privy to your child's life lessons. Your child's a fucking asshole, and it's screaming, and she's yelling at the whole plane. Ah!
I mean, you need to just travel with like a gift card or something. You need to give a gift.
I think I've heard people be like, give
a Starbucks gift card.
I feel like I've heard that people do that.
They do.
Which is so great.
Even if, and I'm sorry, if you're going for 5 hours straight, you owe me $100.
You turn around and go.
I tried to be like, I don't know. It's like, why is it unacceptable to tell a mother
you can't.
to stop shushing,
if you're
stop?
If you're a childless adult and you
have a dog
and you tell a child, oh, those parents, you basically are the boogeyman.
Like, enough is enough. We get it. You want the baby to shh. But no, the baby it literally has not cried.
And it turns me into like a gay stereotype of being like
headphones
a merciless
on your
gay
baby?
Being like, shut the fuck up and get out of the fucking aisle.
No, I know. It's like people are animals. Why don't you put baby headphones on your baby that say shh? Don't subject me. I looked at her husband. I was like, you allow that? Control your wife.
Shh. Was she sitting in first class?
She was in business. We were in business, not first.
You're like, my
even
dog
noise canceling headphones did not get the shush away.
Pierces. The shush of a mother on a plane.
Shush heard round the world. Shush heard round business. I was like, lady, this is coach behavior. We're in business now.
They're either going shh or they're narrating.
Or they're asking you for window favors, or their baby is just screaming.
Or they're teaching their children life lessons in the aisle. Get out of the fucking aisle. There could be an emergency.
You have to be absolute. The minute you go up, the minute you enter the business zone or above, you need to basically be like a Victorian in polite society. Like, you need to shut the fuck up, say nothing.
This is where I'm like, children should be seen and not heard.
Yeah, or your children need to be silent.
Yeah. I've told the story before about the time this flight attendant called up to the front when Taryn and I were like, I was like 4 and Taryn was like 7. We were quietly coloring on the plane and the flight attendant was dealing with some rowdy customer. And then she got on the phone and she goes, and I've got these two right here making all this noise about me and my sister. And my mom turned around and she goes, you call them right back and tell them that you lied about that. And you tell them that my children are actually very well behaved. And so the woman
they would never let her children run amok on an airplane.
So she literally called and said, I lied.
Hell yes. The power of Dorothy O'Donnell.
I know.
Guys, if you live in Austin, it is your civic duty to get a ticket to see us live this Saturday at the 04 Center, Sex Unique Podcast Live. This is our last show of this particular show.
Never again.
I know we've been in Austin before,
but it's much different now, and it's more well oiled. We have like choreo now. Like, we have a lot of things that are different about the show. Like, even if you saw it, it's going to feel like you've never seen it before. I swear to you.
And if you don't believe me, let me tell you this. I had a friend who came to the show when we first did it in LA and came back to the show when we were in LA a couple weeks ago. And he sat through most of the show and didn't even realize that it was the same show that he had seen before.
And he's a
doctor.
He's a doctor.
So if that is telling you anything, it's telling you that you need to come to the show. So go to sexyuniquepodcast.com, get a ticket to see us in Austin this Saturday at the 04 Center.
Guys, it's going to be so fun, and we love being in Austin, and we're going to bring it to you. And
we're going to boots the house.
And last chance to see us belt our little heart outs with these specific songs, and I'm telling you, it's much different than when you saw it in March. Come see for yourselves.
I think we should just get into...
Guys, we are so excited. The time has come once again.
We're so fucking back.
Head back west. Head east from here, west from some of you.
West of the Mississippi.
To the promised land.
God's country.
Utah. We are back with episode 1, season 5 of Rhoslc. I'm Carey.
I'm Lara.
And you're listening to
Sexy Unique Podcast.
Salty Utah Queens. This was a dynamite first episode. I am so pleased.
This is one of the best episodes of a Housewives series I've ever seen.
They are truly...
They've reached New York Housewives level where like the editing, by the way, I just need to praise what the editors are doing because they are taking creative liberties, which normally I've seen those creative liberties go real south.
BPR.
I've been burned. We've been burned.
Yeah.
And we've been burned before.
Oh, we've been betrayed.
The producers and editors on this season so far, one episode in, are serving such elevated levels of cunt. I can't even begin to describe it. And I want to tip my hat to them and say thank you for your service.
It's a Peabody Award. They're channeling the divine.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that this is the greatest Housewives franchise of all time. I'm going to say it. I really think so.
It kind of is.
I obviously like classic New York, Atlanta, New Jersey. Like we've had some seminal.
But this is joining the ranks. This is one of the greats. I'm laughing consistently.
Yeah. And
laughing out loud.
And it's maintained pretty much all of its original cast.
Yeah.
And like they are hopefully it doesn't falter and it doesn't become like tepid. But I have a good feeling about this season already.
Me too. And it's the kind of thing that even like the minutia of what they fight about and the characters themselves are each so strong.
So rich.
Because like, I think Roni, when it was truly firing on all cylinders, was like, they could talk about nothing, but the characters were each so strong that anything they said became hilarious.
It feels like peak Roni for me was like Bethany, Carol, Tinsley, Luann, Ramona, Sonia.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was to me, like that was like Heather. Those were decent seasons, but I think that 1-2 season where it was that cast, that was the divine for me.
Yeah. They're channeling, like they're making Joseph Smith so proud.
Season 1 of Atlanta, I think, was the divine.
Mm-hmm.
And Jersey.
Early seasons of Beverly Hills.
Yeah, and then Jersey. But this is just, they've got the science down and this is the future.
It's so good. There's an opening that is like dramatic, evocative, chills beyond. Heather goes, they like wrote a script. Heather goes, we let people into our homes every day. We choose what to share and what to hide. And then we wait for the world's opinion.
It's De Palma.
It was. Meredith is in her bath doing her monologue.
Meredith's in her bath going, she goes,
sometimes we have mistakes and sometimes we don't.
She goes, we make mistakes and we have to live with them. Heather is a waif. She's literally, she's
turned to the side and you'll miss her entirely.
Whitney, the wild rose, is sitting on her couch in her new gorgeous home and she's staring off and she goes, we tell our darkest secrets.
I was like, okay, you really haven't told that many dark secrets.
Yeah, I was like, Whitney
needs to get a fucking grip.
Then there's this incredible overhead shot where they're like pagans in like a sundial and they're like moving with it's super pagan.
It was.
Mormons are kind of witchy.
They are. The way I need more Mormon content, and I'm so glad to just have like a good amount right now, but I'm gonna need more people to exploit the fuck out of this truly made up religion.
I need gay Mormons.
Gay Mormons, absolutely. The fact that
not just husbands who are married to women, men who are married to women, I need actual gays.
That's a great pitch.
Yeah.
The fact that anyone actually believes
that
in Mormonism, and also I'll rope Scientology into this too, because it's the same level for me where I'm like, this is a bunch of like hooey that you believe in that like has like is so meaningful to people, and all religions kind of are.
Of course.
All religions kind of are, some more than others, but like if you're a Mormon out here believing in Mormonism, you really need to check yourself into the insane asylum. You absolutely have gone too fucking far.
Watch your back. Look over your shoulder.
I was like, I'm afraid to say this, but I'm actually not, because you literally believe like a man dug up some scrolls
in upstate New York.
A man named Joseph
Albany.
Smith discovered some scrolls in Albany and then like trekked out to Salt Lake, which is beautiful. And I get like a religious feeling of discovering that gorgeous land, but like you need to look in the mirror and slap yourself in the fucking face and say, get it together, bitch.
This like hot nude angel touchdown in like Rochester, New York. It was like, hey, Christ came here. Christ was seen in upstate New York.
Literally,
the Israelites came to.
Mormonism is just Jesus was seen, and then Joseph Smith goes, "Where Rachel? Show me to me, Rachel." And the whole religion is based off of
He's
Jesus
a magician.
was seen.
He was like a literal like almanac musician.
No, it's so crazy to me.
But it gives us Lisa Barlow.
I know. And for her, I allow all the Mormons to like be Mormon who are on reality TV. But if you're not on reality TV and you're Mormon, you've got to get it together.
So the format of this episode was pretty genius. So it all starts out, Lisa Barlow is throwing a kind of like après-ski outdoor Valentine's Day event for all her girlies. So it's
a
like
Besos event.
A Besos Galentine's event. And she's throwing it at like a barn. And it's snowy.
Mind you, it's February in a wintry wonderland. It must be so fucking cold there.
Lisa,
and they're having like an outdoor cocktail hour before they get to go in a garage and eat dinner.
Lisa arrives with her sister-in-law, Kimberly.
And she goes, the gay who like made the event, like is there, and she goes, "This is great. This is amazing." And he goes, "Isn't it great?" And she goes, "I feel like we need to fix a few things, like this bench, like have it be right here. And let's move this high boy over here a little bit." I love her moving furniture.
Yeah, just little, the Queen of Sundance knows.
She does know.
That needs to be right there.
This needs to be just right here.
Yeah, that looks so amazing. I love it.
So I decided to have a little Besos party, a Besos for my girls. And then it has a flashback where she's like inviting Heather and she's so happy. Lisa goes, "So I'm doing a little Besos party."
She's with Angie K and Heather.
The way that she's like so excited and is so happy about her Besos party.
I have some theories.
What?
I'm going to get to them.
Okay.
But it has to do
You're just letting everyone know.
It has to do with Ms. Barlow. I think her and John Barlow are having some issues. That's my feeling.
She needs someone like engaging that's going to meet her at her level of sparkle and shine. And unfortunately, John Barlow, I know that he's hot in some circles, but he is a silent flop.
He is a flop. There's some proof that I feel like there is proof of this that will come later, but I do think that she's
the
on
affair.
And her toast.
Oh, okay.
I feel like she's a little on the brim. I think she's a little on the brim.
Mm-hmm.
But she, hanging out with Lisa and Angie K, she goes, "I'm not happy with Whitney. She went on a podcast and said I was a villain." And then we realized Whitney went on the Viall Files.
Whitney went on the Viall Files.
Which I was like, what?
And talked shit about Lisa.
Didn't Whitney sounded like she was stoned on the, were they like sitting around like.
Whitney
she's
is
a flop.
Driving me fucking crazy. She is igniting something in me.
She activates all of us.
That is ugly. And I'll admit that. What you're going to hear come out of my mouth in terms of my feelings for Whitney.
You're owning it.
I'm already like, I don't like the person I become when she is on my screen, but I have no respect for her. And we'll get there, but I just need to preface it with that.
There's a clip and Nick asks Wild Rose if Lisa has ever apologized without being defensive. And then there's a pause and she goes, "I honestly cannot say that I have ever witnessed that."
And she goes, "And she's the villain. She always has been." It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? She's the star of the show.
Lisa is the villain. No one can deny that. We have to admit it.
Are you watching the same thing that
No.
everyone... Whitney Wild Rose is living in her own universe.
She's in a place of constant Bob.
She's in a place of a Bob and Hillen. And she's crossed the line. She's crossed the line of Hillen. You know, like when you're first Hillen, you're a little bit raw, a little bit like shell shocked. But now she's in this place of Hillen where you're like,
shut up.
Where you're like, my trauma this and my trauma that. And like, maybe you need to heal the way I feel. Like where you're really on your high horse about it, which is a surefire sign that you still have a lot of Hillen to do.
Keep your Hillen to yourself sometimes.
Yeah, actually, I think most of the time, everyone can stand to keep their Hillen to themselves.
And guess what? Everyone is Hillen in their own right.
Also, like, shut the fuck up and write a book. You big moron, if you have that much to say about your Hillen journey.
The bad Molly Mormon. Yeah, so Angie K and Mary are best friends, which I'm completely obsessed with. It makes perfect sense to me. And I think it's galactic.
They found each other.
I forgot in the reunion that the only reason why Mary likes Angie K is because during the filming, Angie K kind of quietly went like, you have some lipstick in your teeth. And then Mary went, and then later, Andy goes, who do you like in this cast? And she went, I like Angie K.
She goes, okay, so I do like Angie.
I think it's literally because she told her she had lipstick in her teeth, which is...
It was a random act of kindness, and it goes a long way.
Mary goes, I don't know how it happened, but I trust her now.
Lisa, once again...
Mary also took Angie to Kathy Hilton's Christmas party.
Do you know, I was like kind of shocked that Mary was invited, but then just Mary is shocking because sometimes she seems like such a loose cannon that I would think that she wouldn't get invited places. But then I remember that she is such a loose cannon that you need to invite her places.
And she and Kathy are kind of similar.
They are.
They're both obtuse.
Particular.
Yeah.
They're two particular women who love to spend.
And also are just like unfiltered. And a little
are weird.
A little obtuse.
So, yeah. Strange. Lisa's also making some just last minute adjustments. And she goes, I don't like anything angled. Let's just make it straight on. I hate angles. I love to know these things about her.
She sees things in... What if she doesn't see angles?
Or she doesn't, it hurts. It makes her go full cross-eyed.
Maybe like me, she got like an F in geometry. So she was like, I don't like angles.
Acute angles.
I don't like sharp things. They trigger me.
That I feel about Lisa Barlow is like how I feel about Tom Ford, where I just want to know what she thinks about anything at all times.
Yeah.
Like anytime that there's an interview with him where he's just talking about his day or like what he likes and what he dislikes. Yeah. Like I find it enriching and enchanting.
I want to ask Lisa, do you believe in alternate parallel realities? Yeah, I think so. Maybe. I'm not really sure. I have to look into it.
Yeah, I just want to know the minutia of every thought that comes into her head.
Heather arrives in this latex dress that looks like,
it looks kind of, it's hearts on it, but it could also be like pimples.
Yeah, it looks a little odd. I didn't love it. It looks a little like Club Kitty, but also not that chic. But she walks in and then she goes up to Mary and Mary goes, wow. She goes, you look pretty and thin. You look thin.
She goes, you're thin. Also, Mary immediately spots her and goes, is that Heather? Mary was gagged.
Heather's proudly on Ozempic, which I respect.
Yeah. She also comes with her friend Brittany, which we'll get to, but...
They look alike.
I don't know what Brittany looks like.
Brittany looks like Olivia Wilde in like 30 years.
Does she?
Smoking a pack of Marlboro Lights every day.
Is positively shapeshifter energy. Like sometimes you think you're seeing Brittany, but then you don't know what you're seeing.
Heather goes, wow, Mary's finally being nice to me because I'm thin.
That's what it takes.
I love it. She goes, you're thin.
Is that Heather? You look pretty and thin. You're thin. That's all I want Mary to say to me.
And then we cut to, I just never forget her going, she's got that Mormon snobbiness.
She's got the snobbiness of a true Mormon inbred. Mary, a God lover. Thank God she's back on this show.
And then Lisa's friend Bronwyn arrives in a Saint Laurent heart coat.
A $15,000 Saint Laurent.
That the one that Rihanna wore.
Yeah, she is an old friend of Lisa's, and their lore is that they met at Nordstrom, and Nordstrom is where it all happens. The makeup, Mary.
What I have to say about her is that she was the makeup girl at Nordstrom's.
A Trish McAvoy at Nordstrom's in the 90s.
That's where we met. She was selling me my makeup.
That's where I met Michaela. Shout out Mary from DC.
Yeah.
So Bronwyn was shopping at Nordstrom and Lisa Barlow was like, cool purse. That's a great purse. And then Bronwyn was like, ew, get away from you, sweatpants wearing plebeian. And then eventually they realized that they had mutuals who were like, you guys would actually love each other. And then Bronwyn said, fine, I'll give her the time of day.
Remember that video of Rihanna wearing the heart coat at like 7 a.m. in Soho in New York, just like feeding birds? Do you remember that?
No.
She and her friend, I think it was like Melissa, her bestie. They were just like giggling. I think they had been up all night. And she posted it on her Instagram, but it was just Rihanna in the coat wearing slippers.
Major.
No one's on the street. It's like Sunday morning at 7 a.m. and she's feeding the birds bread. And I was like, this is the most
glamorous
thing I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. We flash back to Lisa and Bronwyn having lunch. And this is where Bronwyn wears her famous hot pants.
Delight. It's like 20 degrees out. And she rolls in with like a leopard, like, I don't even know. Yeah, it is hot pants.
It's a hot pants, like, get up. It's a real get up.
Were they like a members only restaurant? What the fuck was this? Was it like the Soho House?
Guys, you're in Salt Lake. When you like scan a key card and she gets in, and I was like, great. Yeah, you would have to do. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I love it and I want more of it. And like of members only Salt Lake City based clubs. And also I love the way people are going for it fashion wise, because no housewives are really like doing that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also very much aware that if I was living in Salt Lake City, I would be doing the same thing, because what else is there?
Someone says, oh my God, Bronwyn, I think Heather's wearing a dress that you have. And she goes, that's latex. That's not Moschino.
I love it. So Lisa and Bronwyn have lunch, and I don't know, you just see that they're friends. Lisa goes, I knew you were going to wear hot pants.
Well, Bronwyn's basically the man repeller of Salt Lake City. She's like, I don't dress for men, I dress for fashion.
And she reveals that her husband is
65,
I think. And she's 38.
Yeah.
She's younger than me, which I'm not going to lie, that was shocking.
You look younger than she does.
I know, that's what I mean.
And then
in a nice way.
I will say the most bone-chilling fact about Bronwyn is that she has 6 dogs, all named after characters on House of Cards. That was like...
Yeah, that threw me.
I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I watched that twice and I was like, certainly not. And then I rewound and That seems like I think she like let her 65-year-old husband name the dogs.
Wait, but that's so bizarre. I'm sorry. Like, don't get me wrong. That just feels
like a 65-year-old would love nothing more than to like name 6 boxers after characters on House of Cards. And
it's not like
you're
it's
just
like Brett. Like, it's not. I feel like House of Cards isn't really like ubiquitous. Like I don't get me wrong. The first 2 seasons of House of Cards, I was riding for it. But then I was just kind of like, this show's stupid. Sorry.
I mean, you don't have to apologize.
And especially now,
I didn't watch like beyond the 2nd season either. I don't.
Especially now in the wake of everything Mr. Spacey's done, I'm just kind of like, what? Why? This is so weird. I didn't realize there's major House of Cards heads out there. No, I mean, apparently because he did those bizarre Christmas Day videos every year where he was in Frank Underwood voice, but like this threw me and it made me question her.
To me, this is like if you're fucking a man who's 20 plus years older than you and is giving you the Amex Black plus a direct deposit monthly, and he's like, I want to name these dogs after House of Cards, you just say, that is amazing. Like, we should do that. That's an insanely genius idea. It's so funny.
But who's going to be like, oh, this is our dog Zoe, from House of Cards? Like, people are going to be like,
do that for brownie points for your old husband.
People are going to be like, oh, who's Zoe? Like, they're not household name. It's so weird.
You do it to make the husband happy and keep the direct deposits coming and get the $15,000 coat. I swear this is, unless she chooses a House of Cards.
I think I honestly, my vibe was she's the real HOC fan.
We need to, now we're in an investigation of like what the origin story is.
Whitney is late.
Well, the entrances at this party are truly next level. Meredith shows up with a woman named Jamie who has a full bionic leg. I was like, this is incredible.
That was amazing.
Get her, who doesn't speak, and we never get to like know her, but I'm praying she'll be in the
I want her to be a friend of. Just power walking in and no explanation needed. And none explanation is needed. I just was like, they
but
never
it was
fail
like
to gag
the way that
me.
they got the entrances one by one, and then that I was gagged. Whitney and her friend Maylee,
who's so beautiful,
but is very go girl, give us nothing.
Yeah,
except last season's Valentino.
They're late to the party. She's like in the car. She goes, honestly, I am surprised Lisa gave me an invite at all. We have not been friends lately.
And Whitney reveals that this past year has been the best year of my life. And she got a new house, which it could have been her old house. It looks exactly the same to me. I was like, okay, it's just another ugly house.
It's another one of those houses in like a weird development with
no trees
and like a weird man-made creek running around it that somewhat like a child will definitely like be found in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that neighborhood they live in is true crime neighborhood.
It is, and it's also kind of like, I feel like they're gonna retire at Disney, like a themed retirement resort. Like Disney is building, I think, retirement resorts for people.
Oh God, yeah.
I feel like the taste is insane.
Whitney goes, my whole new home is so beautiful. I'm so proud. But I honestly don't know why I was invited.
She goes, and I've been doing tons of press for my businesses.
What businesses? What businesses?
That's not, and she goes, which are very much growing.
Okay. Liar.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Then we get to know.
When she comes in, you hear Lisa go, oh my gosh, she actually showed up. And Whitney does not say hi to Heather. And Lisa goes, she didn't say hi to you. And Heather goes, no. And she goes, that's okay. She'll learn and realize that she has bad manners. I was like, and how?
She didn't say hi to her cousin. Things aren't right in the family. So we get to know Brittany a little. And Brittany is in like a roller coaster relationship with Jared Osmond. And Heather goes, yes, that Osmond family. He's the nephew of Donny Osmond, which in the Mormon religion, he's basically Prince Harry.
Wait, is Donny Osmond a Mormon?
I think Donny and Marie are Mormon. I think they're like the most famous Mormons of all time. I always was like, are they brother and sister? Or
are they kissing?
Kissing
cousins? I was always like really
I think they're brother and sister. And I think
they rubbed me the wrong way.
Marie is real.
Marie's real.
Her son, I think, committed suicide or something, or overdose or something. Like she keeps it real. I like Marie. Brittany's she's in a yo-yo kind of relationship. They've been dating for 8 months. They're breaking up. They're coming back together. She just broke up with him yesterday.
Was that her in the photo with him that they showed, or just some other lady?
It was her.
Whomps? What is the true face of Brittany?
Brittany literally. Brittany looks like Titan. Brittany looks like Olivia Wilde smoked 8,000 packs of cigarettes and fast forwarded 20 years. That's how she looks to me.
But her with Jared
and I think she's pretty.
I think she needs to go back to the dark hair. The dark hair was really suited her well.
She and Heather, you can tell though, they paint the town red together.
They go fucking hard.
They get fucking.
She goes, let's get fucked up tonight.
She goes, don't threaten me with a good time.
Brittany also, she does have don't threaten me with a good time energy.
I'm going to call her Brittany. Brittany. She sits down with Mary and Bronwyn, who tag team just like terrorize her emotionally. And they do that thing where like everything you say, they pick it apart.
Mary and Bronwyn are loving each other because they're both fashion girls who need to spend and need to buy crazy clothes and like don't have a lot else, it seems, to besides like raising the kid and buying clothes.
They're both like, we want more than this small town.
But we are stuck here for reasons that we don't want to discuss. But let's talk about fashion.
With our old ass husbands. And like Mary's like, I want to be in Paris.
Mary's like, my husband's my fucking grandpa. And Bronwyn goes, my fucking husband named our 6 dogs after House of Cards. And they just hold each other's hands and they go, I've got you, girl.
And then Brittany sits down and she goes, Bronwyn, I love your costume. And that obviously was...
That was a heave ho.
And Mary immediately
goes, hands. I was like, you're done now. You should actually just get up and leave and never speak to these women again.
Mary immediately goes, who's Bronwyn? Who's Brittany? Who is this woman?
I wrote, Mary will never love her. You have made a true enemy. All it takes to with Mary is one sentence to make her an enemy for life.
They're both deeply offended by this comment. They're like, it's fashion. It's fashion. Mary goes, I take fashion very seriously. I have an entire office in my house and it's just filled with clothes, weird clothes. So
Brittany goes, oh, so you're like a hoarder. I'm a hoarder too. And she goes, no, not hoarding. It's fashion.
Everything Brittany says here, I'm like, girl, what the fuck? And then she goes, but I think she was doing this intentionally.
Bronwyn goes, this is a Saint Laurent coat. It's one of 3. Rihanna has one and the other one is in a museum somewhere. I was like, I have chills at museum.
But I was also like, they just told you that. I'm sure there's more.
Brittany says that she was like, oh, totally, to Mary once Mary corrects her about the hoarding. And Mary goes, I grew up with a lot of siblings and we just never had enough. And Brittany goes, I know, we grew up poor too. And Mary goes, I didn't say that.
She goes, I didn't grow up poor. I'm not saying that. And she goes, no, I just mean like I can, we both come from like a scarcity mentality where it's like, I'm taking rolls of bread from restaurants to feed my siblings. And Mary goes, I would never do that.
She goes, what? I stuffed rolls in my purse. And Mary goes,
that's crazy.
I don't think that's okay.
I don't think that's okay. And she goes, I'm going to leave. I don't like this.
I'm going to excuse myself and just get some walks away.
Brittany girl.
Brittany, you've got to reel it in.
TMI. We got a flashback of Meredith and Heather, and Meredith is bedridden after breast reduction surgery, her 3rd surgery.
She goes, I've had this is my 3rd time around doing this, but my natural breast tissue just keeps growing.
And Heather laughs.
God wants Meredith to have huge naturals.
Mm-hmm. She goes, I think it's very interesting that Whitney in her business endeavors seems to be on a similar path to me. She launched a jewelry line right after I launched my jewelry line. She launched a bath bomb line after I said in New York that I would be doing a bath bomb line. Honestly, I think it's an attack on me.
I love that. I say take it and run with it.
Then Lisa is talking about Jack and she goes, Jack is doing so good. He's doing the mission thing. Jack is obsessed with Columbia. They have the best bookstores and coffee shops. And they have barbershops. I was like,
she goes, he's like on the mission thing. I love it.
Barbershops.
She says that Jack discovered like 2 Michelin restaurants. She goes, and they're great because everything there is so cheap. I said, save that for when Dad and I come to pick you up. I was like, what mission work is he doing here? I thought like when you were on a mission, you went to like really down and out neighborhoods and tried to get like poverty-stricken people to become Mormons.
Well, Bronwyn goes, what? She goes, I'd like to know what mission Jack is on. She goes, because I grew up Mormon and that doesn't sound like the missions I know.
No, I thought that you like went into areas where people are the most vulnerable and try and tell them the power of religion that can save them.
I think it's in every city.
I think you just go and like fuck off and have fun.
And like J.O.
Yeah.
With, like other guys.
And suck cock and get your cock sucked and just like give people a flyer.
Yeah.
And be like, I don't know.
And get like kind of terrorized.
You go, don't just take this from me. I have to give it to you. Just you can throw it away.
I think missions are in like every city. I don't think it's just like I think there's missions in like Las Vegas.
No, I mean, I know they're all over the world, but I just thought like that you targeted sad people because they're the kind of people that need religion the most.
They go everywhere.
But maybe they're in the nice areas because they just want rich people.
Yeah.
But it seems like I'm just like, oh, I thought a mission was not about like drinking amazing coffee and going to bookstores.
So many bookstores, so many coffee shops. It's amazing.
Like I thought you would go into like really like even indigenous places and be like try and take people away from their own culture and like transfer them into your culture.
Colonizer vibes.
No, that's like what I thought.
Yeah, I think it's a smattering.
You can colonize a little bit, but
they would come to my door growing up.
Yeah.
I guess they were like, this. There's a sad gay in here. Let's try to get him.
They knock on even Jehovah's Witnesses are like,
oh, I know.
Around.
My dad always let him inside because he felt bad, so he would give him coffee and water, and so they'd always come to our house.
I was like Kim Richards through the blinds in Oklahoma, seeing 2 Jehovah's Witnesses walk, and I go, Mom, those are 2 Jehovah's Witnesses.
My dad brought them in. He had them sit down. He let them talk about the Watchtower. He'd be like, that's really great. We're Catholic, but and then my mom would go, we're Catholic, and slam the door in their face.
I just think like, do you pay to go on a mission?
No, I think the church pays for everything.
DBD, well, you pay the church 10%. So in a sense, you do pay.
Yeah, that's true. So Bronwyn reveals that she was kicked out of Brigham Young University.
Queen shit.
She grew up
Mormon.
Her parents converted and they like went hard. And so they're like, the converts are hardcore.
I can't deal with like a late in life Mormon convert. You got to get it together.
Meredith does what I love when she does at all like first episode outdoor parties like they had last year. She strolls up. She's also like somehow so tall.
She's tall. She's a tall girl.
But she towers over Whitney and she's wearing a fur and she walks over and she goes, hello, I need to talk to you. And she goes, so she confronts her about the copying.
She goes, so I have to ask, what is up with the bath bombs? And Whit goes, bath bombs? And she goes, the bombs.
And she goes, Whitney reminds Meredith that she actually launched her career doing bath
bombs were already a part of Wild Rose Beauty.
She goes, remember you stocked your Iris and Bow stores with my bath bombs. So technically I am the one who is being copied here.
Oh, was it Wild? It's Iris and Bow now?
Iris and Bow.
Was it Wild Rose first, but now it's Iris and Bow?
I think so.
Who cares, really?
Yeah, she goes, but Meredith put Iris.
Meredith said, I didn't put the bath bombs.
So we're like, who's telling the truth here?
And then it cuts to Mary and she says she doesn't trust baths. She goes, I don't sit in the tub. No, I don't want that yeast infection.
True.
I was like, TBD if you can get one. I think you have to do a lot of things in the tub.
Anything she says, I go, true.
She knows her body better than anyone else. That's all I'll say.
I mean, there is something, I like a bath, but it is like you are sitting in your filth.
Yeah, but sometimes depending on
That's why I always shower after.
Oh yeah, always shower after.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you need to, shower before. But like, I think you'd have to use, I don't know, maybe some people are more prone than others.
I think a bath is just more meditative than actual.
Yeah, for me, it's like a good opportunity to get like a good sweat.
Mm-hmm.
Reality Von Tease is invoked at last. Meredith going, I had a really hard year with Reality Von Tease, and it was just very difficult to have everyone accusing me of things. And
I miss Von Tease a little. I don't miss her because she's a repellent personality, but I just miss her chaos.
It's good to have like one season of absolute chaos, and then I'm glad that she was released to like the skies. If you love something, let it go vibes.
True. Angie and Meredith then confront each other and Meredith goes, they talk about like that they're not in a good place. There's things they both have to apologize for. And Meredith goes, well, what do I need to apologize to you for? And Angie goes, well, I'm glad you asked. And she takes out a scroll.
She goes, I heard that you wanted an apology from me. So here's a few things that I'd like an apology for. And reaches in her Birkin, takes out a scroll that is 4 feet long. And then she's showing it in her one-on-one interviews. And one of the line items just said Christmas at the soup kitchen.
Well, also the way the editors included a reverb on her, like, here are things I want you to apologize for. And then you hear, and she takes out like a biblical scroll. Yeah. And it's all everything. And Meredith goes, the first thing she goes, oh, oh, God.
I want the scroll published though, because there were some things that were totally blurred out of the scroll.
The scroll needs to be in the Smithsonian.
It does. It needs to be in the Met.
Mm-hmm.
Like this theme, this year's Met Gala theme, or like 2025 needs to be like scrolls.
Don't tell them that because they'll do it.
They would do it.
They do the most confusing theme ever. Scrolls.
Everyone gathers for a toast.
This is where I was like, something's going on in Lisa's marriage because she kind of gets choked up. And she's like, you guys have all been there for me. My husband's been away a lot, as you all know. I'm really having to lean on you guys for support right now.
She goes, welcome to Besos. I love having my girlfriends here. I love you all so much. And I don't love podcasts.
I was like,
but we'll talk about that later. So everyone, come on, let's eat. And then they open up a garage door. I was like, it must be like, I imagine it's like 20 below zero.
Well, I thought it was like lunchtime, but it's nearing dusk.
It's like 4 p.m.
Yeah. But I love when she said the thing about needing to rely on her girlfriends, they all kind of went. And I was like, where there's smoke, there is fire.
I want Lisa to find a man that treats her like the baby girl that she deserves to be treated like.
Mm-hmm.
Who will shower her with $60,000 rings and replace them every time she loses them.
Yeah, I love she turns to Whitney and she goes, we got to work some things out. Bronwyn at the dinner table. Yeah, they're in like a barn.
Everyone
like
was like, who is this Brittany? And Heather goes, I thought this was the perfect chance to show her a village of women. It's like M. Night Shyamalan, The Village.
Bronwyn reveals that her stepson is 6 months older than her. I went, damn. Complicated. And Whitney goes, yes, I am only 4 years older than my stepsons. We have a lot in common. We're both married to old men. We've both broken up families. I'm just kidding. I don't think Bronwyn has.
I love Bronwyn, her old ass man. I'm excited to meet him and see what the relationship vibes are like.
He's probably Mormon, right?
I don't know. Is Bronwyn still Mormon?
Probably.
I have a lot of questions.
Angie K brings out the scroll again.
Angie K is in a place of see the scrolls.
And then again, Meredith goes, I am not engaging. I am simply not engaging with you in this moment.
She goes, I already apologized to you 1,000,000 times, Angie. She called her Angie. I apologize to you 1,000,000 times, Angie.
The sacred scrolls of Angie K.
The scroll is back in the mix in a huge way.
I love everything.
You hear people go, what is this? What's happening? And Angie goes, we're talking about the scroll.
I just love Angie immediately going.
Scrolls need to like replace. Okay, so
Angie's
women, you know how
best.
like drag queens often have like fans that they whip out. I think that
or
straight
like annoying
women,
gays.
Yeah, like annoying gays. I think that straight women could really do something with a scroll, like throwing it down and like, you know what? There's something there.
We should, instead of texting, we should scroll.
Whenever you have a problem with someone, take to the scroll and then confront them and roll it down.
The holiday season is coming up. You have many chances at family dinners to take out a scroll.
Oh,
you should take a scroll.
I should take a scroll for Thanksgiving.
Oklahoma.
I'll start, and I would encourage everyone to start. Don't wait until the day before to get a scroll.
Start working on it now.
Start working on it now. first and foremost, you're going to need to procure a scroll, and then you're going to need at least a couple months to write down all the problems you have with family members and a list of things that they can apologize for.
Angie and Meredith start exchanging. Angie and
I've already apologized to you 1,000,000 times, Angie.
The sick Angie K.
Angie K and the Secret of the Scrolls. She's like Harry Potter. They go back and forth on Scrollgate.
And at one point Angie K goes, live it in your fucking rental.
This was the most incredible. I wrote the whole exchange down. Meredith goes, we are so finished. And Angie goes, we are finished. And Meredith goes, just leave me alone. She goes, you leave me alone. And Meredith goes, you live your life and I'll live mine and you will be peaceful and happy. And she goes, live it in your fucking rental. And Meredith goes, and Bronwyn goes, let's draw the line. Let's not talk about it anymore. And Angie cannot let it go.
She goes, you know what? She goes, I don't want to rent her talking about my home. I was like, oh my God.
That honestly, she ate with that.
Holy shit.
Because as a renter, you should not talk about Angie
K. And
you should not talk about Angie's cave.
When I was in New York, I kept being like, I kept being like, am I going to see Meredith because she lives in New York and not in Utah?
I would hope. So Angie's really twisted up because Meredith allegedly told Reality Von Tease herself that she could sue Angie K and take her house.
She also insinuated, she claims Meredith insinuated that that she's in the mob.
Yeah, it's all on the scroll.
Meredith goes, I said nothing of the sort.
I've already apologized to you 1,000,000 times.
She goes, Meredith goes,
what?
I've already, she goes, I've already made amends to you, Angie K.
Angie, please.
With her shawl. Angie, please leave me alone. Leave me and my family alone, and I'll leave yours alone too.
We are so finished. We are finished. Just leave me alone. You leave me alone.
She goes, I don't want to rent her talking about my home. Oh my God.
So then Heather's like, wow, this is a really good like T-bone. Lisa goes, it's a filet. And then Mary is looking at, they're like, Mary, are you vegan? And she's like, I can't even imagine looking at a piece of meat. I imagine it lodging it in my colon. And how long would it stay in there? Just lodged in my colon, just meat. And I was like, my God.
Mary's all about like whole health.
She is. She's really in a place of like, my holes.
She's a place of my hole.
Whitney asks Lisa about Podcast Gate.
Mm-hmm.
And Lisa just goes, if you're going to lie about me, expect me to tell the truth about myself.
And then Whitney goes, Lisa, I wasn't lying. My experience isn't lying. It's how I experience you.
Whitney is unfortunately very dumb.
Yeah.
She is.
But I kind of love it.
She is just a big old dum-dum.
She goes, and she goes, I understand you're upset with me. And Lisa goes, well, who told you? Who told you I was upset with you? Because the only people I told were Heather and Angie K. So which one of you told her this? And no one says anything. And then we get a flashback of Angie K telling Whitney that Lisa's upset.
Whitney goes, those are my feelings. Those are just my feelings. It's how I feel.
And then she goes, tell me, Whitney, who said it to you? Which one of these girls said it to you? And then we see Whitney lean back and she goes, I am not going to say anything until you listen, so we will have a standoff. And you hear like, doo-doo-doo-doo.
She goes, I've not done anything but call you a villain.
And then she goes, Angie, did you tell her this? And then Angie goes, which part? I love Angie. She immediately goes, which part?
I love Lisa going, she goes, you want me to be a villain? I'll be a villain. Game on, bitch. I'm a villain now. I'm going to vilify everything. I'm a villain. I'm the biggest villain of your fucking life.
And then she takes a highball glass with a cocktail in it and just throws it against the wall. I was like, whoa. Lisa has that New York rage.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa has rage issues, I think.
She's a rager. She inspires me.
You know, I think she and Meredith are similar in that, like, I can imagine them just screaming at their kids.
I think they're both insane ragers.
Yeah.
They're rageaholics. Mm-hmm. Everyone then confronts Whitney.
Oh my God, this pile-on of the Wild Rose was like a lot. I felt kind of bad for her.
I did not have any feel. I said, get her ass.
Yeah.
I said, read her to fucking filth. I just don't, and this is, I don't have a lot of empathy for dumb people. And
she's a dumb dummy.
She's a dumb bitch.
The only thing I have empathy for is being the child of Diane Warren. I think that was really something painful really happened to her. And I feel for her in that way. But I'm also like, you are bringing this all on yourself. You get yourself into pickles, miss. She's Miss Pickles.
Quit drinking.
Yeah, stop drinking.
You big old lush. And just stop talking. You're annoying and you're dumb. You're too dumb for this room.
And then Lisa.
Everyone confronts her. Meredith or Heather goes. She's still like on about her book. Whitney saying that she exploited her vagina. And
Whitney, first Whitney, she goes, I have never lied about a single thing. And then Heather goes, ha 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 ha.
This was the best moment of these women's lives.
They all swarm. Lisa again brings up the Utah Jazz blowjobs. That was Whitney. You were wild for that.
And remember, Whitney was blackout drunk for that too.
Yeah, and
when she strolled in a full lingerie getup, and
that was Jen Shah's like last hurrah.
I know, that was when they were still having to go to like the
Arizona.
continental United States, like tri-state area only for girls trips because Jen Shah couldn't cross like state lines.
I think Jen Shah threw a glass in that moment too, because she said, why aren't you talking about me? And she threw a glass.
Yeah. I was like, I can't believe these women lived through the terroristic reign of Jen Shah. Then they had to live through the terroristic reign of Reality Von Tease. And I think also as a nation, we've forgotten too soon about Reality Von Tease. And I think people really need to remember Reality Von Tease because the urge to go full Von Tease is higher than ever in this day and age.
Yeah. We're in like a weird astrological moment, I think, somehow. I have no evidence of that, but I feel like we're in a bad spot and people's urge to Von Tease is
so high.
It's out of control. And never don't underestimate the urge to Von Tease. The urge to Von Tease could ignite a civil war.
It pops up when you least expect it, and it is a fight for some people more than others to put the Von Tease down and just not be in a place of Von Tease. But I too have forgotten because Reality Von Tease was on merely the beginning of this year.
I know.
Which is shocking.
That's not entirely true.
Reality Von Tease like kicked the year off and like forecasted a lot. But it was also like earth-shattering.
Whitney she goes, Lisa, you have weaponized my trauma too many times for my liking. And Lisa goes, I would never do that. And then we cut to her saying, she sent Whitney a text that said, keep healing with prayer hands.
That's not weaponizing trauma. That's just being sarcastic.
And then Whitney goes, do you want to see the healed Whitney?
You weaponized my trauma against me. You said keep healing.
I'll show you the healed Whitney.
She goes, you want to meet the healed Whitney? Fuck you, Lisa Barlow.
We started the Hillen train.
We were Hillen before anyone.
I feel like I'm like, Whitney's a even though like everyone says Hillen now, I'm like, she confirmed subhead.
I hope not.
Whitney.
I hope the fuck not.
Me too.
Turn it off, Whitney. If you're listening, turn it off. It ain't gonna get any better.
She keeps flipping the bird.
She's
drunk.
She's very stupid. She's unfortunately a very, very stupid person.
Go back to your farmhouse.
I like when Heather said a whole tirade and then brought it back home and she goes, that was a fucking lie, which makes you a liar. And in that moment watching, I thought of Lisa Vanderpump going, Boom.
Boom.
Then Whitney storms out. She goes, I'm going to go home to my beautiful house and children in my husband. I do not need any of you. I don't need you. Fuck you. And walks by the two like band members that were hired to play like sensitive like guitar music at the garage dinner. And they're laughing.
I know.
I love when they like expose like a random straight man to these women's shenanigans.
I wish it was like medieval music. I wish it was like.
They need to have a medieval themed something or the other.
Incredible first episode.
God, so strong.
We can only hope that the whole season will be like this. I think it will.
Pray.
Pray to the Virgin Mary.
Pray to the healing gods.
Let's shout out our healing cult. Countess Jacqueline Yvette.
Chrissy Barlahan.
PJ Global.
Alex Delisle.
Makeup Fresh.
Obviously.
Emily Young.
Gina Sapienza.
Sarah Elizabeth from Yoston.
Lucy from London.
Brooke Johansson.
Lilia Farrell.
Good Queen of Brooklyn.
Jessie, obviously, Toledo Hyder.
Dilly from the Blaver Picture.
Jessica Hernandez.
Mazel Tov Lols.
Mary.
Katie Yulin.
Mike Earhart.
Sharon Yam, Realtor.
Timothy Shield.
Matthew Yamas.
Owsley Robinson.
Cheeseburger, yeah.
Mariah K.
Kathy Yeast.
Kit Moore.
Hillary from Chicago.
Orlando.
Patron of the Arts.
David from Switzerland.
Nick Yadiris.
Grace Eilinger.
Emily.
Kim Lucas.
Drew from Toronto.
Katie the Sup Lawyer.
Yarde.
Modern Counseling, McLean, Virginia.
Jeffrey Pradova.
Guys, thank you.
Please be on a cult. We love you.
We love you so much.
Please buy tickets to our show in Austin. We love it. We'll love to see you.
We're there this Saturday at the 04 Center, sexuniquepodcast.com.